Match point for IG here in this best of 5 series to keep their world's hopes alive. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't clean, it was definitely something. That Jarvan pick was interesting, I think is the best way I can put it. I don't know if the Jarvan was definitely not the whole reason, but it definitely didn't help.
Yeah, I think we're in a position where maybe Lumao believes, and this has always been the type of support he is, where it's like, I'm going to do it myself kind of guy. It's like, at all costs, even if you think that in the second game that the Braum made a lot more sense, in this game where I look at it and I was thinking more so towards, I like the hover that they had initially of the Pyke. Blitzcrank made sense, and he's a type of Blitzcrank player. Going towards the Jarvan was interesting because I looked at that bot side, and even in 2v2s, you're never going to lock down the Ezreal. Like, that's a very easy one. Tahm Kench is going to prolong fights, and you saw a lot of situations where they were outplaying the 2v2 from the Jarvan, so I think that's a small point for them that I feel like has been a constant throughout the series.
Yeah, I think as well, like, you know, we saw the fact that, so as we were mentioning it as well, like, Rookie didn't have an exceptional game on the Aurelia. It wasn't like anyone on the side of IG was playing out of their minds like we saw TheShy on game 2. It was more just like JDG were kind of failing engages and more so like not able to push themselves forward.
I don't think it's necessarily that they are failing engages, it's just that they didn't have really anyone to engage on. And as you said, like Jarvan cannot go on Ezreal. There's a Tam as well, and they have like sort of beefy top side of the map with Irelia, Sejuani and Aatrox. So, I mean, Jarvan doesn't have much option, and I think it just didn't fit very well against what they had, against what IG had. In terms of champions. So I think IG just needed to wait until Irelia actually land an ultimate for once, and then they could win a team fight.
Yeah, and like just think about a grouped scenario for JDG, what that means, because a lot of the times, of course, J4 Cataclysm was starting it off, and then Tahm Kench would be the target almost by necessity. If you go on towards the Sejuani or anyone, they're going to just soak damage until Tahm Kench ends up saving them and putting to the back. So I like the idea that they're going towards the Tahm Kench. Issue was there's just no burst. That's why Karma just went for a full AP build. It's like, well, I mean, we just don't have necessarily the damage to make it happen. So it was really weird, simply because they didn't have the damage necessarily, and it would have been fine as long as they had a true frontliner. But they didn't have that, and so back to the more of the execution aspect of it. You mentioned that TheShy didn't have necessarily. I felt like he did have a pretty standout performance during team fights. His Aatrox found great members, or at least when they had that backline dive and counter engages. I'm not sure if this one is it. We'll have to see, just make sure. But this is a good example where they tried to soak as much damage on towards the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench was completely fine, and then they just counter ganked, so, or at least counter engaged.
The main issue is that JDG was just not playing as 4, not as 5. The team fights were often on IG's conditions and not on JDG's conditions. So I think in the game overall, JDG's bot lane should have just be more patient and let the Karma and Olaf just carry over the game, instead just try to like be the carries and just look for 2v2s, outplays and things like that, when in reality they should have just let Olaf and Karma lead the game and just play on from there, and then maybe he would have had a bit of a better score than 0-11.
To piggyback off the fact of them playing a lot more patiently, JakeyLove actually just had an insane game.
Yep.
So I was looking forward to just seeing JakeyLove have that standout performance, and while it was J4 and or at least just the side of JDG constantly looking for those 2v2 skirmishes, not only did he find that massive outplay bot side when he was able to get an ultimate to chunk down the Ezreal, the Imp to start off the fight, and then he just eviscerates them when he comes back into the lane. That was a nice instant during that game. Then also, there was one moment
on the red buff fight.
Yes, the red buff fight was just slick.
That's a nice ultimate.
That was really fun, where IG had the numbers disadvantage, but the Ezreal made it super easy. So great job in this game for JakeyLove.
And for the side of JDG, now you're facing against you. You lose the next game, you're out. Your season is over until 2020. What do we want to see different from them? Because I feel like one of the big things that was a massive factor for their win in the first game of the series was the fact that Luma was able to make those roams. I feel like he needs to go back towards something that can make those impacts. I
think their bot lane just needs to pick for comp, like just play what is best against IG's champs. In this game, it was really anything that would be team fighting, really, and it wasn't necessarily an engage. So anything I could peel eventually, like I don't know, an Alistar, Braum, just really whatever
Yeah.
that can team fight against what is gonna go in. And last game it was Braum, for example. I think he just needs to go for what is best for team fight, really.
Which is why I'm surprised that we're not seeing that this series, because JDG as a team, they have the highest team kill participation, and that means that, I mean, every time when they get kills, they do it together. Like, across all teams, they're the team that focuses on team fighting the most. That's what they built their, you know, legacy off of, I suppose, in the past 2 splits, even if they had different members on the team. So the fact that they're now making their compositions just worse for the laning phase, I think is a big gambit that only was a reality because they had such a long break. So I want to see them adapt during the series, go back to what made them a strong team, and initially what made IG a weak team. Remember when they were dominant during the split, they were weak in team fighting. So at least take advantage of at least that identity for you.
And I think as well, like you said, take advantage of that, find your openings, find your, you know, kind of, you know, like you said, I think you said it the right way. Is like, you know, Lamau sometimes kind of goes, I'm going to do it my way, and that's kind of the only way I'm going to do it. But like you said, I think they just need to kind of look for that kind of like synergy back to game 1, look for those weaknesses, look for those opportunities. But for IG, you're not extremely happy. Obviously, you're still trying to work out the kinks, but at least you're happy knowing that you've come up to this point now where you are 1 game away from that final game tomorrow, and you're potentially looking at a return to the World Championships.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying, like, don't play your style, because the hover of Pyke or even the Blitzcrank for the Tahm Kench matchup, that's his style. But play towards the team fight rather than just trying to hyper-focus on the lane, because even that didn't work out for him. So that's my small thing, and you're right. You're just 1 game away of essentially giving it to Invictus Gaming to go up against top esports, and so I feel like that adaptation needs to be made.
Yeah, he could have gone for Blitzcrank. It would have been more for the time, or look to one for mid. I'm not a big fan because it wouldn't really do much elsewhere after.
Yeah.
But if it's his style, I think that's completely fine. Then they just need to, their mid jungle needs to play more towards just going to bots and then play as 4. Then right now it feels like they are playing as 2-man mid jungle and then as 2-man bot side of the map, and they are not like, they didn't group as much in the last 2 games, or at least that's what it feels on the reason of why they lost.
I agree with that. They're not connected. There's so many times in which they're going back and forth on kills, and they're just simply not working as a unit. So at the end of the day, communication is key. Coach Ohm has always been the coach of communication. When he was on Team WE, that's the only thing we heard from them when they went towards semifinals. They weren't happy with that. And when they were on JD, it's the same idea. And so that's why I don't expect there to be a swap at all in players. Coach Ohm has never been the type of person to bring in new players during a series. He wants the same 5 people to kind of learn that lesson throughout a best of 5. So expect, Kanavi and Zoom to be working a lot more with the bot, or at least with mid lane. And specifically, if you're working 2v2 through mid, then go bot side, because Imp has actually been having a great game too, or a series as well.
Yeah, we've seen it kind of like, I think the one thing that I'd say this series has over yesterday's series is that we've seen the advantages picked off of every single lane. We've seen mid lane carry, we've seen top lane, and we've seen bot lane. So we now have been told that JDG have chosen blue side for this picked ban. What do you want to see JDG focus on when they come into this picked ban?
Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa first pick.
Kai'Sa.
I guess it's like, if Kai'Sa is gonna be out, they're gonna look to either go for the Akali or ban it. So it's gonna be either Kai'Sa, either Akali. Possibly if those two are out as well, possibly the Karma. All the strong picks.
I'm a little. I wonder about the Akali pick, because for JD, who's been going towards Karma mid throughout the entire series, and also Yagao hasn't been having a strong lane throughout the split. So
I think just they will take the Akali out, I think.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to leave it on red side for
good point.
For IG.
That'd be a good idea. And I think if they end up not getting that pick, then maybe going back to a Corki, something that allows them later on in the game, I guess, inbuilt patience, right? You still have to wait towards his item, so he has team fight or split push. That would make sense, but as we see the IG players coming out, I kind of built up a lot of the carries. I think Baolan as a player is not someone who's going to let a game kind of just stagnate. He's already been really strong at being able to accelerate fights, and the Tahm Kench play, I think, is also just, even if Tahm Kench is not an accelerating type of champion, they put themselves in a position where JDG have to engage if they're pressuring on mid lane turret or something. And so they're always pushing for an objective, and it makes it easier for Tahm Kench to do his job. So going back to the point, I think Baolan's been playing really well this series, and maybe won't allow JDG to just scale up?
I think they should just ban the flexes overall. They are blue side now, so just ban all the flexes. Look to even ban Aatrox, ban Akali.
Yeah.
Look for Kai'Sa first pick. If Kai'Sa is out, just go Karma. And if you're going Karma, if you know that they will ban the Kai'Sa, for example, and you want to go Karma, look to ban eventually either Sejuani, either Irelia, so it's gonna be even stronger.
Yeah.
And look for the Karma Olaf again. I think that's completely fine. You just need to have a better game plan on what to execute and play more as a 4-man, as we said.
That's why, you know, coming into the last game, we said it's easy to adapt your draft just to play towards a lane and have better focus in the early game. But JDG is still suffering of just adapting play and communication. That's incredibly hard to do during a series. And so a lot of the decisions that are being made are just flatly not connected, very poor. I think it's going to be hard for JDG to come into the next game and have that solution. So that's why Mr. Flip Flop and Raz here. I've been wrong every time on this desk, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there.
You were wrong when I asked you, like, you know, I was like, oh, we're going 5 games. You're like, nah, 3-1 JDG
Oh!
at the start of that one. So you knew straight away you're already flip-flopping off the back of that.
That's true, that's true. I mean, look, I am super confident now, okay? I am very confident about Invictus Gaming's current position. They've been outplaying mechanically. I think the only one who hasn't been up to snuff this series has simply been Rookie, surprisingly enough. But past that, you know, I'm looking at even Leyan and saying that he's been playing a great series.
Yeah, you have been playing well so far.
So they've got that. I think the draft has been all right with them as well. Baolan has been definitely the better support of the series. They should be able to take this. And if I'm wrong again, someone just make a highlight reel.
I was just about to say, I was like,
Shame me on Twitter, please.
Do you still believe in IG, even if the flexes are out?
Yeah.
We'll let you flip-flop depending on the draft. We'll see how the draft goes first.
I mean, even the Aatrox that's being given to TheShy now, he's just been performing well regardless. So even if the flexes are gone, they should be fine in that regard. That's my biggest concern, is that even in the strength that JD has, they're not playing team fights well. So if you're not laning all right, you're not team fighting well. The communication feels like it's in disarray. There, I just see that not only is the momentum there for Invictus Gaming, but they can just keep rerunning the last draft.
I think as well, like, you know, if you look at JDG, the last 2 games, we've seen a very common pattern of they have very good early games and then they just stagnate. They don't really move from those early games and kind of make those kind of plays, and it gives room to IG, the likes of the mechanically gifted players like TheShy, to come in and actually make those plays to bring them back into the game.
I want to say this, though. I've been on a real negative roll as of late. Like, during the split, I was prediction king, and I was happy about that. And then I got the interview done by OnePlus, and I was like, oh, easily 3-1 RNG's finals. Like, that's just... I was already wrong about, you know, BLG making it to Worlds.
In fairness,
I was wrong about RNG winning the finals.
In fairness, you weren't the only one.
Today.
You weren't the only one who was wrong. I want like G2, Team Liquid, SKT, Frostgurn, all incorrect with their predictions.
Oh, yeah,
everyone went for RNG.
I know you're trying to make me feel better about this.
You know, I know, I agree, but you know, so that is your prediction. So you're basically saying that we're going to 5 games by
this
saying it's a 3-1.
This will break the record.
This will be it.
I'm gonna be back on a streak.
I'm gonna absolutely roast you if this goes to 5 games.
Nah, it's not going to 5. I am ultra confident that it's not going to 5 games.
And having looked at IG now in the most of the kind of best of 5 series coming into game 4, what's your general assessment of them? Like, you know, obviously you played against them last year. Are they, you know, we talked about it a little bit at the start of the show, how it's very difficult to keep up that level. Do you think they're kind of slowly ramping up towards that, or is there still a long way to go?
I mean, in terms of individual level, I feel like TheShy is still there at least. I haven't seen like that much of bottom lane quite yet, and yeah, mid is a bit lacking in the mid lane department. But
yeah, not even.
So in the nice way, still a bit to go as we jump into picks and bans.
You got a few chances left.
You got a few chances to see them. You got to impress Soaz. Guys, like you talked about, Kai'Sa, priority pick for JDG. They get it, they lock it in.
Big shock. And honestly, they can go back to the Karma too.
The Xayah, I like it.
Yeah, okay, we're starting to see Xayah. Xayah Rakan is definitely online.
A big thing in Europe, the Xayah pick.
Yeah.
Not so much in the LPL, but...
Well, I think there are a few teams. IG is definitely one of them. Xayah Rakan, I think, is the go-to. I think Xayah has just been such a good ban versus, like, for instance, RNG, you just ban Xayah because it just breaks up the combination.
In the series of yesterday, I was wondering, because Kai'Sa was such a high priority, and for example, RNG tried to go Ezreal against a Kai'Sa, but I was just thinking...
It was banned, or at least
why don't teams just go Xayah?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Xayah was getting banned a few times, but yeah, priorities shift. This time around, I like the fact that they're holding onto the Rakan. There's no way JD's just going to pick up Kai'Sa Rakan. I think it's a very bad lane, and you can just match it with a Nautilus.
Karma again.
There we go. Easy. I think immediately JD must be happy about this. They've gotten everything that worked well for them on the mid side. They just need to find themselves a decent support.
They've had, like, I think both teams have had decent picks and bans aside from the last game. I just really didn't like the Jarvan, and I thought that on the game before, that the Braum could have been better.
Yeah.
Leona could have worked, but Braum would have improved things a bit more. I think just on paper, both of these drafts looks good to me.
Yeah, and it just comes down to execution. I just need to see JDG really make use of Imp, mostly because he's been performing well. If Kanavi's being able to push through mid with Yagao, finding a way through bot side and pushing through bot lane advantage shouldn't be a worry. So I just want to see what IG can do to stop that, just based off them needing a support pick. I'm surprised they banned the Morgana here.
Probably banned from JDG as last.
I would expect that.
Assume.
Could see a Rakan first pick, as you say, but we'll see what JDG want to prioritize on this side. They actually banned the Rakan, so gonna ban the Rakan. I think the Morgana definitely something that they want to kind of, if you see that getting banned last time on your red side first pick, you're gonna ban the Rakan in reply, I feel. Yeah,
I think that Morgana will be a pretty easy pick for JD, just because even if they went towards like the Nautilus or something, I'm talking about Invictus Gaming in this sense, that at least you have a pretty easy way for Imp to not just lane, but also have access in mid-game teamfights to just jump in with the Morgana shield. It's easier for him to just not get instantly caught out by the CC.
Right now we see actually JDG taking away the Aatrox, gonna give that up to...
Oh, don't do this to me, Mao.
Zoom.
Lumao, please. Think about this, you have 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds, Lumao. I like this.
Could go with the Braum as well.
Wait a minute! Go back to the Nautilus! Nautilus is a completely fine champion. Everyone picks Nautilus Kai'Sa.
Yes, Nautilus is really good against Irelia as well. You can never go in until Nautilus press R.
I want to get like 2 emotes made for the LPL Twitch. One's just sad Soaz, the other one's just like irate Raz.
Calm down. You didn't have to do that. But yeah, this one's pretty easy pick. You can easily now split. I think from Invictus Gaming's composition.
I really like the Gna.
Yeah. So I think they got good top. They have good skirmish through mid. And also bot lane's pretty safe.
Yeah. Gna is really good against Aatrox and Olaf, so you can pretty much 1 versus 2 in the top lane once you get Black Cleaver.
Now, guys, we're going to send it over to our casters very quickly, but going to get a quick prediction before we send it over. Raz, who's taking this one?
I'm ultra confident in Invictus Gaming.
Soaz?
I'll give it to IG as well.
You're going to give it to IG. All right, we're anticipating this being the final game. Let's send it over to Hysterics and Clement to take us through the action.
Ultra confident Raz. I call absolute baloney on that. This is going to a game 5. I'm sorry, Soaz, as well. But for JDG, I see the Leona again. I see game number 19 on the Kai'Sa. I'm instilled with confidence that JDG can do it.
JD Gaming got what they wanted out of the draft, the working mid-jungle and the long-range initiation that they lacked the last time with the Jarvan. Leona fills in those gaps, and even though Nautilus is the common answer here, Leona is Lumao's style. It is his baby. It is his precious champion that he brought onto the stage, and I think it will give them better chances to link up with that Karma and Olaf to start fights.
We're taking a closer look there at Imp's biceps. Him carrying this game once again. Lumao the same. The strength of that bottom lane for JDG when it hasn't been able to roam, when it hasn't been able to influence the rest of the map. That's what JDG have been suffering from. Going into this 4th game, Clement, just quickly, a quick look at the draft from IG's side to look at that Irelia and the Nara game.
I actually really like IG's draft. I feel like this is their best draft of the series. They have great counter initiation in Alistar and Xayah pullback. So I will say that this game does, for me, favor IG.
Okay, see if they can do it. Knock out JDG and continue their chances to try and get back to the world stage as the 3rd seed, or if JDG can take us to a Game 5. And the duck of the LPL watchers, JDG, back onto the Leona support. And remember, if you're just tuning in now, Lumao, the roaming support of the LPL. It's about getting his lane ahead, then moving on to Yagao and Zoom.
And this game, they're looking to do that through getting kills in the bottom side. We've seen the same exact start 3 times from JD Gaming, where they do an early level 1 invade and make sure that they are going to get the vertical jungle of their choice. This time, that selection's actually going to be going towards the top side. Dinar's going to find it pretty difficult if he wants to shove the lane.
As you mentioned, vertical jungling the start. We've had a vertical jungle, it feels like every single game now, where Kanavi has been the one to start it off. Leyan has been going towards blue. We'll be looking towards red buff on the other side, but that does mean that Imp and Lumao will be caught in place.
Pretty standard runes across the board, and I just want to mention that JD Gaming have warded up both sides of the jungle, so even when their bot lane is pushing, they should be relatively safe to any ganks coming in from Leyan. And I really like the idea to punish inexperienced jungle this way. Yep. Leyan has not played a lot of games, only really started at the later 3 weeks of the split. So they're forcing some tough decisions on his part on how to play the map.
Remember, they brought him out of IG Young when they're in such a great position as, hang on a minute, we're just looking at Zoom onto TheShy, hits level 2 first on the Aatrox and pushes TheShy to half health.
And TheShy cannot trade back on these. If he's stuck in this position, the level 2 will kill him. So he has no choice but to walk back immediately.
But meanwhile, Baolan goes for the all-in engage with the jungler nearby. Lumao and him have to be careful. They go on to Baolan. Ignite gets dropped down. Baolan gets first blooded as Imp flashes away. Lumao now caught in a bad position with Permafrost going down. It is a trade, but the majority of gold goes over to Imp.
A very successful 3v2 coming in for JD Gaming. They knew how much time that Leyan needed to get back into the fight, so they were willing to hang around and take it.
Leyan moving up towards the jungle after the engage. It was a 1-for-1 with AD carries, with JakeyLove able to push the wave out due to the jungle pressure. Remember, TheShy also kept the summoners as mid won't result in anything.
Yep, better trade coming in from Yagao. Does look like he had his ultimate procs there. And Leyan can't extend that lead any further, even with Baolan here.
Okay, so JDG pulling back. This is Yagao in the mid lane. I like that we're looking at Rookie's rune choice. Remember, in the past, it's been heavily on the Conqueror's side. We've only seen a couple of Aurelias go towards press the attack and towards the quicker trading.
Press the attack does give you a lot more burst potential against ranged targets. So that's maybe what he's looking for. I also like the Legends tenacity being brought out here.
True.
A lot of times Karma is going to try to slow you down.
Remember, Undertow from the Olaf as well. The Lumao Leona is going to be a nuisance. So you're right, there's a lot of reason to bring it up as we're just looking at these quick trades. TheShy actually finally getting something back. In fact, Zoom in a bit of trouble here. Has to pop the pot early, and TheShy finally getting something.
Yeah, did miss a lot of skill shots over there. TheShy, good dodging, good weaving in and out. But JD Gaming, especially for Zoom, he's going to look to push this one in and assert his dominance on the top side. You can see IG already pinging out the scuttle, so they're trying to do calculations on how much time Olaf is going to need to travel here.
True. Vision control there for JDG in the top side river as TheShy trades once again. If anyone was wondering what that little lower third was, it was Zoom's POV stream over on Douyu here for Round 1 Gauntlet. It's like ProView, but not. So
both cost money.
That they do. Okay, Lumao, you're in trouble. How do you get out of this? Zenith Blade on top of Baolan as Leyan follows suit. Imp turns around for the trade, and Baolan once again getting the pear-shaped end. Yagao's even made the roam down as well. It's a 3 versus 3.
Yep, a telegraph on that one. Can they hit the Zenith Blade?
Well, he hits it easily. Cleanse and flash burnt. A lot of respect as Baolan gonna be in a pear-shaped moment again. JakeyLove turns back around to Lumao. Arctic Assault is available. Yao's blocking. Instant flush. They turn. It doesn't matter. Lumao timed that so nicely, and Leyan can't have an effect.
JakeyLove was trying to stay in the fight just so he could get his blade collar, but the crowd control doesn't come in fast enough. Lumao flashes out of range, and they pick up another kill in the bottom lane.
This happened game 1, Clement. Imp picked up early kills. He really just pulled on the momentum. He's now 2-0 with a pickaxe, and the bottom lane is successful for JDG.
A lot of times, it's just those pocket picks that allow players to outplay the entire situation. You can see here JakeyLove with a very fast response on both summoners here, but Baolan cannot stand the damage from a solo lane coming in. And Luma, it looks like he's going to die, and this is going to be a good trade, but he flashes out just in the nick of time.
Leyan flashes first with the Winter's Flail, but Lumao matched it perfectly. So props there to the bottom lane of JDG. And with an aggressive start like that, with a 2-0 Kai'Sa, who has double pickaxe after the replay comes out. A lot of confidence here for JDG fans.
And look at the level currently on Baolan. He's only level 3, 6 minutes into the game. No flash. This is going to be a reoccurring issue and a very easy pickup for JD Gaming whenever they come down.
And he gets the other POV stream. He's already died twice, so I'm sure the fans are enjoying themselves over there.
That's going to be a fun chat room to be in.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no flame whatsoever. But as I mentioned, 0-2 on the cow. So now we wait to see what happens, because Kanavi's moving towards this bottom side with Scuttlecrab available, with an Ocean Dragon available as well.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to see from IG is them kind of giving up on the bottom side and just trying to make things work in top.
Yep, here comes Leyan, level 5. The Nas sends him back with the ulti zoom in the world, and they're now looking at 1v2 onto Leyan. That's the smart choice. Permafrost, though, is going to come through. He turns onto Leyan, Electric comes through. Zoom flashes away, although a 1-for-1 trade was in the cards.
The cooldown is shared by the Boomerang between the Mega and the Mini Nard, so he's not going to get another one out of there, able to walk away from the fight.
And while you flash away, Kanavi's just going to start up this Ocean Dragon. So if you're JDG, you look at this and shout worth.
I wonder who it was that said he was ultra confident.
Raz is ultra confident. Hey.
You know, most of the time when
Captain
someone says they're
Flip-Flop.
confident, they don't say it 3 times in a row.
No.
I think that's what really tipped me off.
He's so confident that he's got to say it. So the king of flip-flopping is going to be in a dangerous position if this keeps going the way of JDG. 2k gold lead at 7 minutes in the game, and like we were talking about before, the top lane is the issue for JDG, but one that Zoom has been handling well. The trade comes through with the flash, but he still has teleport if he gets forced out.
Ooh, and this might be the first successful 4v2 that we see in this entire series.
True.
However, JakeyLove and Baolan, they definitely know the situation. They smell something fishy.
I mean,
they'll
they'll
back
be
off in time.
turret plating here for Imp, though. So that's gold going over to the bottom lane anyway. Kanavi's hanging around with Ragnarok available. I want to point out that Kanavi is 30 CS up on Leyan. So while the plays have been going across, that bottom play really hurt the Sejuani.
Yeah, Sejuani came into the lane twice and really got nothing out of it. 1 assist to her name. And I just want to say that JD Gaming, you can see the difference in approach to taking a BO5 series. JD Gaming are always coming in with a set level 1 play.
Yeah.
This is something I feel like IG don't do enough. Coach Home is just so good with these things. He's a much better BO5 coach than he is in the regular spring.
Remember, in spring, 100% win rate when it goes to Game 5 in playoffs for JDG.
That is true.
WE, RNG, FPX. That was JDG's journey. They hit best of 5 across every series. And they're coming into this one going, okay, we're ready to do it again.
Baolan still level 4 against the level 6 of Lumal. This is a straight up dive into kill. IG need to babysit this lane.
Kanavi level 7. Remember the experience advantage, the level lead warriors on Kanavi as well. So if the Olaf gets involved, it feels like Leyan is going to be useless apart from the ult.
Yeah, I like what IG are doing right here. They're cutting down on the connective tissue between JD Gaming's mid jungle and the bottom side. They venture into river, but unfortunately they are evicted as soon as that bot lane push is going on as well. And I think this is a great game that we can kind of gauge the effects of a support snowball. We're seeing Leona so early with the vision item because they have control in lane. You know, she's sitting 2 levels above. She's going to take full vision control here. And Leyan is pretty much forced to just play onto the top side. He doesn't have much say in how things are ran in the bottom.
But even towards the top side, this is why we praise Aatrox all the time, because to make this 2v1 in the top side work, it needs to be a dive. And Aatrox just is that hard to dive. Ninja Tabby is optimized first as well, so that Nars not doing as much damage. In fact, both the top laners have gone for boots first. But Zoom staying safe up there means that the rest of JDG can continue running the map.
This is IG setting up a 3v2, but JD Gaming unfortunately are not going to bite the bait here. And for the top lane, that Ocean Drake really hurts TheShy as well. He's forced to put damage onto Zoom every couple seconds.
Okay, there's a Cloud coming up next, so at least it's not a double Clement, but look at where JDG are. This is a very early Herald.
This is the classical JD gaming play. The key thing here is, what is the status of TheShy's Mega Nard bar? It doesn't really look like he has enough rage to actually participate in the fight, so it will go over into JD Gaming's side.
And while this is happening, you don't look at IG and say, okay, there's the trade. There is no trade. It's a Rift Herald simply picked up here by Kanavi, who's now going to find Leyan, and that's right, he needs to leave. These Raptors are not even safe.
Yeah, we have seen other Olaf skins where he's actually holding a pork chop. So, you know, the Berserker loves his pork on the dinner plate, and Leyan respects that.
This is Olaf. This is Ref Olaf. This is Rolaf.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I'm
It's
so
terrible.
inventive.
I'm sorry.
So inventive. No, that's okay. That's very fair. I deserve that. But into the mid lane, 2v2 is now possible. Baolan making it 3 as a flash away into the arms of the cowards. Here comes the Olaf, finally into a 1v3. He needs to find something. Onto 1, onto 2. Kanavi strikes
one.
down Baolan, heals up with Triumph, needs an undertow. Here comes the solar flare. The nuke is down. Rookie may get a double kill, but Imp has joined the fight. The Force Duet saves the life, but Imp says no. I have flash. I have heal, I get stuck on a wall, and I need to kill this piggy. Chase him, boy, chase him.
Oh.
He finds it, and kill number 3 eventually comes through.
Good finish up. This is what happens when you let Lumao start leaving the lane against JD Gaming. He's going to roam to every single fight. It doesn't matter how far away he is going to participate.
Well, after that twisted turn of events, I guess we're going to see a replay. Clement.
That was the most tragic flash coming in from Yagao. He's like, I dodged this. Oh my god, everyone's here. So a bad start to it that's nearly taken back because Olaf is just insane as a champion.
It's that lead we're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's just the gold lead here. Good flash out from Leyan and a great move from Rookie to at least get this stun, but unfortunately for the piggy, the heal's still up from the bottom side, so he was able to chase down.
And JDG still about 2k gold ahead in this game. Nothing really has changed. Imp gets more resources, but I will say Rookie getting the 2 kills there now puts IG on the board. Now gives us something to look at if IG can make their way back after this early game.
This is going to be a tough one for IG. They have no ultimates in mid-jungle, and they really have no say in this one whatsoever. I think IG's best bet is really to take down that bot lane tower as soon as possible.
But they're making a roam. Lumao moves into the mid lane. Rookie forced out by the Zenith play. They turn on him though. Leyan doesn't have the Glacial Prison. Rookie jumps on in. Solar Flare comes down. Rookie's dead again. Baolan for the double headbutt pulverize. But it's Lumao who goes golden to save the day.
Lumao is just beasting on these kids right here. He knows there's no threat coming in from Leyan, is willing to do the tower dive, and what a good, perfect timing. Dodges out on the aggro, nearly gets a second kill.
JDG are just turning the tides here. Game 4 looks so damn different. The Kai'Sa comes through, the Leona comes through, and what we said at the end of Big Fan was how important the bottom lane is for JDG. It's again influencing the map, and it's set up JDG with now about 4,000 gold.
That's a massive gold lead to overcome for IG, for even a team like IG that is this talented. And what I want to say is JD Gaming, I love the way that they stayed the course. They recognized that their good early game was coming from that steady game plan of Olaf and Karma. Their bot lane was doing fine, so they held down onto what they needed to do, and they still kept a bottom lane focused game plan going on. Once again, they're going to walk away with a great early game.
And really good tower plating there, Clement. 425 on each bottom laner. A bit in the Yagao's pocket as well, while for IG it really wasn't that much. So we're now into the mid-game. Lanes have settled. The dust has disappeared. Imp and Lumao move back to the mid lane, and you can see that for JDG, their side lanes are set up pretty safe here, and not really an ability for IG to force.
Yeah, IG still need a lot of farm time if they want to get that Gnar into a 4-1 split push position. However, I will say this is also JD Gaming's kind of stall onto the game, their power trough, where they don't really find out what they want to do and how to advance their game plan. IG actually has a pretty decent team composition against JD Gaming. JD Gaming want to run into them, but IG have all the counter-engage tools. They have the Mega Gnar, they have the Flawless Duet, and they have the Blade Caller coming in from JakeyLove. So if it comes down to a 5v5 team fight, JD Gaming need the numbers to take out a win.
And you're scared of Baolan as well, right? The headbutt pulverize that you know Baolan hits a lot of the time. This is one of the best Alistars in the league. And if he's set up for success, if he's able to get that engaged, then you say, okay, IG should be able to stop JDG in their path. But Rookie by himself needs some help.
Yeah, he can't defend this position whatsoever.
Solar Flare dodged away from. Baolan comes in. Zenith Blade dodged as well. Ragnarok, though, into Rookie, sends out the Vanguard's edge. And this Aurelia getting burned down quickly. Looking for Lumel, but can't find it as Baolan into the Unbreakable Will. Imp comes in with the flank, dodges away the ulti. JakeyLove has to flash from a simple undertow. And Imp is just so big, they have to pay the tax.
That was a baller play coming in from Imp. He just goes 1v2 against the bottom side, knowing that they have to rotate and help. And JD Gaming, they overload the map. They accelerate the game pacing. They're looking so damn strong.
Zoom in a bit of trouble down here. TheShy going to go into Mega Gnar. Here we go. World Ender to disappear. And that'll be all she wrote while the turret trade comes into the top side.
It's got to be a feel bad for Zoom, but he can rest assured that his teammates are going to carry this one, at least on the top side of the map.
Clement, I have to say, when you play now his 19th game of Kai'Sa in summer, there's a lot of respect that you have to pay to this pick. And I think Imp getting away with it again is a good example of how good he can be.
I want to know what they do with Imp before playoffs. They give him a prep talk or something, because he really does show up.
Hey, he's been working out, man. You saw those biceps. You saw what's going on.
There's some big biceps on that man, and he just plays up during playoffs. He goes back into that. They kind of rewind time, take him back to S4. They let him roll around that soccer field again, and he's all rejuvenated and ready to go. Like, LGD didn't even happen, and he's going.
Do you remember in spring where for JDG we said, okay, this team has the potential to be a top 4, maybe a top 3? Then we looked at Imp and Lumel and we said, okay, this bottom lane's the issue for JDG.
It's never been the case in playoffs.
But that's right. We got into spring playoffs and it was different. And now it's happening again where the bottom lane's taking control. Imp and Lumel running past this turret. The Leona does not care. That Nara's about to go mega, has to flush away from the Solar Flare. JDG are wasting a lot of time here while Rookie hits top lane. Look at IG in mid.
They have to get away from this.
Lumel solo, yeah.
I mean, TheShy's just taking so much out of JD Gaming right now. They're taking 2 towers for this. And they can't chase him.
Hang on, TheShy ulted. What is happening here? Zoom is into World Ender. That's a flash burst by... What? What's the point in casting if you're just going to do this? But hang on. Maybe this is real. That's a Zenith Blade flash on in. Now I'll take it seriously. Zoom jumps in as well. Imp Killer Instinct. But look, Zoom doesn't have his ult. He's getting burnt down, choked down, destroyed by Hyper. Imp is caught out. They flash around. The ultimate comes through from the Aurelia. And JDG have to leg it.
Oh my god, I can't believe TheShy was able to get away with that one. He had 3 people behind his tower. He reads the situation and goes like, you know what? I'm not going to defend this. Walks straight away back to his teammates. And
they're going to do it again. The Pulverize comes through, but look how low IG are. They pull in Lumel, but he's tanky enough. Yagao picks up the first kill. Imp is walking forward onto TheShy. He's going to take a 1v2, but burnt down by Rookie. Zenith Blade comes in while Kanavi deals with the backside. The Olaf is angry. He's done enough. Imp's still alive as well. And JDG get a full-blown ace. They love the chaos, and they're telling me, Clement, one thing: we want a game 5.
We want to go the distance on JD Gaming. That was such a good mental read onto IG, knowing that they would greed and actually stay there. IG never stopped at round 2. It has to go to round 3. It has to go to round 4. And unfortunately for them, that just wasn't their fight to take. Like, they should have backed out immediately.
Raz is shaking in his boots, and Clement, you're about to tell me why off this fight.
Well, look at this. IG actually walked back towards the engage, and TheShy tries to come in and get the kill off. There's no reason they should be staying here at all. Look at their HP bars. They have no ultimates either. They're just staying there because they're IG.
I have to say, this series, Kanavi has proven he deserves to be on this starting roster, that he is the best iteration of jungler. No, don't do this now. Good Ragnarok, please leave.
I will not accept this caster curse.
Let me go into the spiel of Kanavi while he 1v2.
Yeah, when Kanavi came on, we were really suspect of why they were bringing another Korean jungler in that was likely going to have communication issues.
Yep.
They had the same thing with Levi, and they had the same thing with Flawless. It's like, JD Gaming's like, you know, the issue with issue with communication issues, they don't exist. We're going to bring in Kanavi.
We're going to prove it's not communication.
Yeah, and finally throughout the entire split, they do get Kanavi to work in. He was always more of the stable option between Flawless, the hunter-killer, and the more stable guy like Kanavi.
Leyan has to disappear. I like the jungle conversation.
Kanavi can farm up. That's the difference between him and
That's
Flawless.
true.
Flawless gets a level 2 gank, doesn't get it to work, the game's over.
JDG approaching this inhibitor turret though, Clement. They have a 7k gold lead. Imp is on a tear. Right now, very difficult for IG to find this. They need Baolan or Leyan to get that pick, to get the engage, and find the crucial member like Imp, or even someone like Yagao.
Now, like what IG are doing here, they're willing to take the hit now, knowing that TheShy has some time to get into that split pushing mode. But for JD Gaming, they're putting them on a timer. They're not willing to wait. Hard force into Baron is spotted out, but IG don't have a response time.
But look at where TheShy is. He has teleport, but Mega Gnar is actually full bar. I take it away. This is the perfect engage. But can they find it? Lumao comes in for the flank onto Leyan, who flashes in. It's the Kaiser that picks up Baron, but Gnar into the back of the pit. He only finds one with the ulti, but JDG are burning down. Yagao gets hit as well. Lumao and Zoom just want to leave, while IG may be 4 strong. They will take out members with them. The Baron buff back will find its mark. So Baron, but the cost of 3 for JDG.
And I have to say, that's actually a bit of a comeback coming in from IG. JD Gaming have to look to finish the game right now, or TheShy's going to get away with a lot of CS.
And they found Yagao. What's he doing here for the wave? Gets locked down, and thankfully he'll survive for now, but IG still have their windows.
Yeah, that's a pretty big win for TheShy individually. He's picking up the kills. Imp is finally taken off of that bounty, which I believe TheShy got the kill for that.
Yep.
So if JD Gaming can't close out based on this Baron buff, the 4-1 is going to be in favor of IG for the remainder of the game.
Did you start getting those scary item windows? 2 already on the Aurelia, the IE picked up on the Xayah, and the Gnar by then will have his second item as well. I'm curious to go back to this replay because I'm not sure if I saw the Gnar ult correctly, but for Invictus Gaming, they ran in, and having that Mega Gnar available was a big part of it.
Yeah, everyone had to move out of the pit. They didn't want to stay inside of it to give IG a perfect collapse on that one. And just the bounty goal, the unfortunate fact that Imp had to stay in and dish out the damage to secure the Baron, means that they've actually not closed. JD Gaming were not able to extend their gold lead. They've actually shrunk it. They were up at 6-7k before the Baron buff, and now IG's within striking distance.
But I will say, Clement, we have 2 inner turrets remaining. Bottom side here with the Baron push of Yagao. They should be able to push this and push IG back.
I believe we're going to see a super hard force coming in from JD Gaming. They know the situation they're in, so once TheShy drops any bit of Rage Bar, once he's done from the Mega Gnar and goes back into Mini, I think that's going to be the point they strike.
Okay, well, they have poked him down a little bit. We're going into Mega now. You can see JDG backing away. Zoom has teleport flash. He's in the mid lane right now and was one of the few to keep the Baron buff as well.
That was a really smart play from Kanavi. They just want to put the Mega Gnar onto cooldown from TheShy, so he's willing to go up, hit him a couple times, put him on his Rage Bar, and now they're setting up for the game-ending play right here. IG have to stay grouped up, and they have to stay very vigilant because JD Gaming are not going to waste their windows.
They're spread out a little bit though, Clement. JakeyLove's wave clearing in the mid lane while Zoom takes him off.
It's going to come down to the layering of crowd controls for IG to stay alive here. JD Gaming are encroaching on this tower. Zoom is being sent here. They know the 5v5 is within reach.
One moment, Clement. It's one moment for JDG to take us all the way, for them to stay in this series. The pushing is there, but they just can't get close enough to the turret to get the damage down.
And IG's been doing a great job at clearing out that minion wave, but the cannon still stands, and this is still 30 seconds on the Baron buff, so this is going to be the crucial wave.
Okay, they walk in. It's Imp first. TheShy goes mid. JDG should be able to get the inhibitor and the mid lane turret off to this as well. This will be enough to give him that gold advantage to push him towards the second Baron. Or maybe find TheShy.
JD Gaming are playing around the Shy.
Oh, Flash Center Blade doesn't connect. Lumao, that's a blunder. IG know it. They're walking towards them. Onto TheShy again. Zoom walks forward first. IG, Baolan's there. He's the one to watch. Headbutt pole guys onto 2. Ragnarok gets used. There's the Vanguard's edge onto JakeyLove though. Kanavi's big soul flare finds its mark as him. Goes into Gnar. He finds a crucial pick. Zoom into World Ender as well. And he's cleaving. He's smacking. They flash onto him. He gets healed up. He gets bursted. But he's still alive. He's still alive. And JDG outlive Invictus Gaming, you know we're going all the way.
JD Gaming know their window so damn well. They have a lot of time here to finish out the game, and those two are only going back because they have teleports. It's not going to be a respite for JakeyLove. He has to go in 1v4.
Imp just destroys him. You know what? It doesn't matter. You took down the AD carry. And this is the defining moment for JDG. The Leona comes through, the Kaiser again. It tears open IG. And as JDG expose the Nexus, they need to hit this now. I mean, right now. Soulflare's gonna come down. No one's on the Nexus. There's not enough AD carry damage. Please don't tell me we're doing this again. Lumel's hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. We need it. One more. They find it. Oh boy, I wasn't ready to go again, but hey. Game 5 is now here.
We are finally going to the distance. JD Gaming stay the course. They hold on to what made them so powerful in this series, and they close it out with decisiveness. TheShy was on the brink of getting out of control. He had that 3 kills. He had the bounty gold that Imp gave him during that Baron pit. So the JD Gaming knew that they had to finish on that one single Baron push.
I wasn't ready to do that after yesterday's Nexus duo, whatever you want to call it. We got there in the end, and I bet JDG are happy they've taken it to the distance.
The last tug of war on that inhibitor tower was something to be studied. It was a textbook situation on how you play against the Gnar.
Yeah.
They wait for the Mega Gnar to reside and for it to go on to cooldown. There is no chance for a Mega Gnar to go in, and Imp played the team fight so well. Everyone was rushing towards JakeyLove. He killer instinct and shut down TheShy. That was the crucial play that allowed them to finish off game 4 and head on to game 5.
Because if you look at this game, it feels like game 1 all over again. It feels like Imp and Lumel have control. Yagao is a facilitator, but also didn't really lose lane that hard. And then Zoom survived the weak side of the map once more, this time with the Aatrox pick.
I know you say that Baolan might be one of the top Alistars, but I really think that Alistar is his worst champion.
Dude.
It is his worst champion by far. So I want to see what IG can do to finally wrestle themselves a winning bottom lane. That has been the crucial missing piece for me. I think that TheShy and Rookie are good enough players where even if they don't get power picks, even if they don't get jungle attention, they're still going to be fine in their own lane. What I can't understand is how you let Lumel on the map over and over again in this series. Lumel's basically taken every herald.
Lumel, I said this to you in the break when Raz, Soaz, and BP were talking, that if Lumel is shut down, if he can't roam, it feels like that is the game for JDG. It feels like Lumel is the center of the universe for this team to win or lose.
Contrast the difference between him on Jarvan and him on Fiddlesticks plus Leona.
Yes.
If you take him out of the game, JD Gaming are sluggish. They are not as decisive. They can't find the fights that they want to close out on the mid game. And what you need to do to stop all of that is just pick a stronger bot lane.
Clemchu, game 5, it's coming right at us. JDG and IG. JDG are doing what they couldn't do in the spring final, right?
JD Gaming are the lowest seed coming into Gauntlet, but I say they would be the scariest because they have Coach home and they draft like pros.
Yes, they definitely do. JDG finally do it. They step up, they send IG into disarray, and if IG lose here, they will not be able to defend their world title.
Yeah, every team since Season 5 has been able to go back to Worlds once they won a championship. This streak might end.
Well, we'll see. We're going to send it back to the analyst desk because the Game 5, Raz, I want to hear what you have to say to back yourself up.
I don't want to talk.
You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to talk. Because I am only joined on the desk by Soaz and Cursey McCurse over here, the most confident person on my desk.
Look, I said I was super confident.
You said you were overly confident.
I didn't say I was 100% confident.
But that's still, like, what is super, whatever, you know, we'll take it as it is. But
it looks like better bot lane wins, honestly.
Better bot lane wins, of course. But let's talk about how that game, you know, went about itself. JDG now find themselves back in this series. We are now down to 1 game. I'm going to talk to Soaz because he's the only one who has a bit of sense in this one there. Like,
I'll take some time
again,
to
like
think.
like the casters said, it was all about, you know, the support roams. You talked about it in the pregame, getting that jungle support duo rolling.
Yeah, I mean, to get this your support to roam, they first won 2v2 bottom lane. Even though they got killed level 2 with Sejuani coming, they still managed to get picks later on, and then you just unlock their supports, able to play the map and yeah, get this herald get mid turret, play the game from there. Then after it was just easy for them.
Oh, you're actually not going to talk for this one now? You're just going to sit here? All right, well, again, you know, like you talked about it, something that we mentioned in the pregame. You're just a statue now. We just mentioned in the pregame as well was the, you know, the stagnation, the not doing anything after a good early game towards the mid game for the side of JDG. They seem to have shored that up, and they made the plays, they made the moves. It wasn't the most optimal moves, but they made it work.
Well, I felt like JD were far better at executing this time around. A lot of the times last time around, we didn't have a problem with the draft necessarily. The only thing was mostly the support, but overall we thought they were doable drafts. This time around, when they were wrapping around mid, you made a point about it with the Rip Trail play, that they knew that they could actually look for the dive. They were confident that they can play through that. And so a lot of the fights that Invictus Gaming were moving forward, remember, these are reactive plays from IG. They were doubling down on a defense through mid when they were kind of hoping that they would over-execute in a sense, to like basically outplay the scenarios that they were in. But it was JD that were far more focused, able to play around the Leona engage, and I looked at this game and said that Imp still got it. Imp had an incredible game on Kai'Sa. I know that that's his most played, but it's definitely topical for the entire playoffs. So let's hope that going into Game 5, you get those picks again, and that they're just as focused as the list game.
So now the question becomes, do we see any substitutions? Do we see Ning
Nope.
brought back in? You really think they don't bring him in?
I don't think so. I think you've fully committed. Leyan has had good games. He's actually really performed well here, and so I think you just go into Game 5 and have full confidence that he can come in and give it to you.
Yeah, especially that the players are already warmed up and everything. You don't want necessarily to have a player that's, you know, that will come just for the Game 5.
Yeah.
Haven't really warmed up, regardless, even if he would have played 1 or 2 games before that, like off stage, is really not the same to be playing on stage. So.
And for JDG as well, just want to touch on it there is no expectations for them to win this series. If anybody was anybody, they, you know, win this or they lose this. JDG were never really expected to kind of come into this one as, like, you know, potential winners. We all said it. Fair enough, we didn't say it with a graphic, but we all said IG 3-0. We were all very confident in that, and now we're looking at it kind of going, well, actually, who knows? Who honestly knows? And I think that's actually helping JDG more than it's, you know, actually it's helping them and hindering IG.
A lot of it, too, is just because we didn't know what JDG would look like. They were not informed. They didn't make playoffs this split. They still had a lot of questions around their, you know, roster decisions. In fact, coming into today, I thought there was going to be Morgan playing instead of Zoom. And I thought it was going to be, instead of Kanavi, I was expecting it to be Xiaohan. But this time around, they are confident in Zoom, who was once upon a time second best top laner, certainly the best GP in China. And so for us to be in a position where they're doing exactly what I thought it was too difficult for them to do, by the way, which was have better communication coming into the game, be grouped up so they are connected, and allowing Imp to carry. So he's not just doing his own thing in the bot side of the map, and Lu Mao is going up top side for a 3v3 when he should be involved in the plays. He's far more involved. They've evolved throughout the series. It's Invictus Gaming that needs to take that next step now.
Yeah, I think as well, like, you know, IG and TheShy and Rookie, like, these are massive names, of course. And despite Game 2, where, you know, obviously TheShy popped off, he's been quite subdued. And you know, I don't know if that's if it's actually JDG's play or it's just the champion he's on.
Yeah, the issue with this game, I feel like it's more the champion that he was on. Gnar is not very able to just TP whenever he wants to. Even though he had pressure in his matchup, he needs to wait kind of his rage bar at least being 60% or more to be able to, for sure, be getting his R off in the team fight. And it's not a champion that also warm off to mid or really invade that much. So he's just looking to check enemy top laner, get a small CS lead, and look for item power spike, and then look for fights, things like that.
Yeah.
But you need to play a bit more on the Gnar, and it feels like in the games that we have seen, it's more like the top lane needs to play a bit more on the team, right? That's why, for example, like Kali was good when he popped off, because he can just TP and just team fight whenever he wants to, and Gnar is not a champion where he can do that. So Aatrox fits him a bit better as well, because you can get his roam off, you can TP and straight up team fights, and Gnar is a bit more difficult for that.
I'd agree with that. I think that in this case, it's TheShy who's now disconnected from the rest of the map. So I would like to be able to see plays now run for TheShy a little bit more. The Kali game was a bit of an exception because he just outright styled before, JD were able to get anything off.
Style
So.
on his enemy.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
We have got an MVP from that series. I actually don't know who it is, so I'm going to quickly show it up on the screen and see exactly who it was. I'm going to go, Yagao it was. That's Karma, 4 games in a row. Does he get it a 5th?
Get the 5-game Karma. Make Crown feel upset when he had that world champion off his Malzahar
It feels
game.
like he's learning through the series playing Karma, just testing different item builds. Like,
get an Iceborne Gauntlet next. No, but honestly, I think that this one makes a lot of sense. Coming into this game, it was made easy because Imp had been playing out of his mind during this specific game. He was already set up to succeed. This time around, he actually went for the Muramana build. So he could just tear throughout the tank. So front to back, certainly an advantage to JDG.
yeah, it's so much damage, especially with the shields coming in. There's no way that IG can get any kills at this point in the game. I feel like if they're gonna play anything with Sejuani as a pair, like Sejuani Yasuo, Sejuani Irelia, they really need to get an advantage. At least like, not, it doesn't have to be before 6, but as soon as Sejuani ding 6, like they need to get one of the laners ahead. Like whether it's a kill on top or mid, they need to do something with that.
And I think it's about time to ban the Olaf. Remember, it was so respected within the LPL because a lot of the times if you want to run Sejuani, Irelia or something, you can at least secure a early gank and kill before the enemy jungler has to come in. But Olaf passed quicker. He's much better in the counter gank situation. So I think make it harder there for Kanavi to operate.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what IG focus their bans on, and we're going to take it to a quick break. When we return, we will have the 5th and final game of the semi-final of the Gauntlet. Do not go anywhere.